What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Between the Ropes. I'm MacArthur Moore, Wesley Varnador, and we've added somebody new to the pod, Hunter Fletcher. He doesn't really post on social media, but his socials will be on the screen and in the description as well. You should go follow him. We love sports and all things about it, and we've got a lot to talk about in today's episode. Starting out with the U.S. Open, the third major of the golf season. Do we have over par in play for the winner?
No.
No? What's your winning score?
I think winning score is going to be 4-3 under.
Okay.
If I had to be honest, I think outside of your top five, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you'll start seeing some pars, some +1, +2s. But I do not believe the winner will be over par.
I don't think the winner will be over par. I think we're going to see some higher than normal numbers.
Yes.
I mean, we've got a 16.0 green speed on the stent,
Yep.
a 5-inch rough, which they've actually cut down, but that's all they've talked about is this 5-inch rough. How are the players going to handle it? But I don't think it's going to be big enough where we're going to see the winner at over par.
No.
I just think that the guys are too talented in 2025. What do you think about the over par discussion? There's been a lot of it.
I think that you're going to see a lot of players finish over par outside of your top 10. I still think you're going to see some lower scores, but you're not going to get no crazy +8 or -8, -9 or anything like that.
Yeah. So let's talk about some picks. Who y'all got for the U.S. Open?
I'm gonna go ahead and go out with it. I'm going Colin Morikawa. One of my favorite golfers on tour right now. He hasn't won anything since 2023, which I believe was a Zozo Championship. His last major was in 2021, which was the Open, in which him and Jordan Spieth put on a clinic on the final day.
They did.
I want to say he was. They were within 2 shots of each other. Jordan Spieth had a couple back-to-back bogeys, which gave Colin the opportunity to step up. Colin then birdied 7, 8, and 9. Ended up with a 2-stroke lead and won comfortably with that 2-stroke lead after that. I do think that he's due. He hasn't won a major championship, like I said, since 21.
Definitely due.
He's had, he's made the cut 10 of 11 times this year, 3 top 10 finishes, and 2 runners-up.
Really good numbers.
I mean,
really good numbers. He is due.
Yeah, Vegas has got him 23-1, 22-1. He's definitely not the favorite like Scotty, who is at +250 to win. But Scotty is playing absolutely out of his mind. I mean, he's had a great year.
Yes. I'll piggyback off of that. My pick is the #1 player in the world, PGA Championship champion, Scotty Scheffler. He's playing the best golf of his life. You just said it. He was 8 under at the Masters, 11 under at the PGA Championship. That wrist-hand injury does not seem to be bothering him. He's the most consistent player on the tour, and he's the most balanced player on the tour. And with all the uncertainties at Oakmont, I think that's going to play really strong. That everybody's talking about the longer hitters, and I do think that that's really going to help. Guys like Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy are going to play well if they can keep it in the fairway. But Scotty Scheffler's overall presence, poise, and just ability all around makes me. I understand why he's the favorite. Odds mean nothing to me. I don't bet, so I don't really care. All I know is that Scotty Scheffler is the best player in the world. He is my pick for the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Well, my pick is going to have to be Bryson DeChambeau.
My goat.
A long ball hitter. I mean, don't let him get hot. He gets hot.
Yeah.
It's wraps.
You're in trouble.
We might have break 50 in play.
He finished tied 5th at the Masters. He finished
7 under.
T2 at the PGA Championship.
6
Not
under.
to mention that he is the previous winner of the U.S. Open last
At
year.
Pinehurst,
where he
fun.
put on an absolute clinic.
Yes, him and Roy had a good fight. That was a good match.
Speaking of Rory, does Rory bounce back? Because ever since the Masters in April, Rory's had a slump.
Yeah.
He got cut from the Canadian Open last week. He's not playing his best golf. He was +3 at the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, which is a course that he's known to dominate in years past.
Yeah.
He just wasn't that good. How does he play at Oakmont? Does he make the cut? Is he in the leaderboard? Does he have a chance at winning?
I think he's going to make the cut. Vegas seems to think he's got odds. I think he's finishing the top. I think he's top 3 for odds to win this weekend. I'm not a big Roy fan. I was happy that he did get his Grand Slam because that's a huge deal in golf. But I don't think he's going to not make the cut. I think he will. I think he'll finish in the top 10. I think, top 10, top 5 area. But he's in that Augusta Masters slump.
He is in a slump.
That's what he's in.
And Scotty somehow avoided it when he won it in 24.
Well, he's a different breed.
He is.
Different
#1
breed
player
golfer.
in the world for a reason. We've said it a lot, but there is a reason.
Well, Rory and Bryson, they are put together on day one.
I love
so
that.
We're
I do
gonna
too.
see
I love
a
that. Is
bunch of good golf. On
that
day
is
one.
absolute cinema. I've got a sleeper.
Yeah.
I've got Shane Lowry. I think Shane Lowry is playing the
Yeah.
best golf of his life.
Yeah.
It's a little different than Scotty Scheffler's best golf of his life,
Yeah.
but he played very well at the Masters. He did not do much in the PGA Championship, but I think that he's going to play very well. And depending on how quickly he comes out those first 2 rounds,
Yeah.
we could see him in the leaderboard at the end with potentially a chance to win this thing.
Yeah. My sleeper for this weekend is definitely going to be Tony Finau.
Love Tony.
I saw him at the Masters last year at the practice round. I didn't get to talk to him, but I was within 5 feet of him. The dude's awesome. Got a great sense of humor. He
I
carries
was within
himself.
4 feet. I just want everybody
Well,
to know.
not everybody's special like you, but he's my sleeper pick. I think he's 90-1 to win this weekend. So he's not he's not up there in the top. But also, a little side note of Tony Finau: if you don't get on TikTok, you need to follow his wife on TikTok. She posts his outfits of the tournament when Nike sends them to him. And I will say, Nike does send that fire to Tony Finau. The fits are very, very cool.
You got a sleeper?
I do. I have an underdog, Akshay Bhatia. He's young.
That's a good one.
He's solid.
He's gotta get out hot.
He's got to come out hot, stay consistent,
It's
and I think he can make a deep run.
He had a really good start to the Masters, but then his consistency just kind of fell off, and so that's my only concern with him. But I like Akshay a lot.
Yeah.
A Wake Forest alum, being from North Carolina,
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
But Akshay does concern me a little bit with the consistency. It should be a fun weekend
Yes.
at Oakmont. Moving right along, we've got the NFL coming back up. We talked about it a little bit last week, how
we did.
excited we were for college football in the NFL.
Yep.
I know Hunter's excited because I see him in our group chats all the time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the NFL in 2025 and a sleeper pick for 2025. Somebody that may be falling a little bit below the radar, whoever would like to start, because I would like to save mine.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump on the grenade. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going New England Patriots. The reason I say that,
Drake May.
well, not just Drake May. They ranked in the bottom half of the league on offense and defense last year.
They
Were not good.
terrible.
They had horrible leadership at Gerard Mayo at the helm. Did get fired mid-season. And nothing against Drake May. He was a rookie. He didn't have great leadership. So that's not going to correlate very well.
But he still made the Pro Bowl.
Yes, he did. He is a very, very good young quarterback. This year, they have Mike Vrabel
Love Mike
as their
Vrabel.
coach. Love the guy. The Tennessee Titans fumbled
Major.
firing him. That was just
Major.
absolutely atrocious what they did. But not only did they get Mike Vrabel this year, they also drafted the LSU offensive lineman Will Campbell. That dude is a dog.
He's a monster.
Let
He's
me
gonna
tell you,
pancake some people.
If you have not seen his videos, he's talking about laying his life down for his quarterback, and that's exactly what he did at LSU. The dude is very, very good.
I like the Patriots
Yes.
pick. They did take Milton Williams away from our Carolina Panthers, so I'm a little bit bitter. But Mike Vrabel, he's a great coach. I really like that sleeper pick for 2025.
And I had that. I had that. I'm so upset. But they also got the running back from Ohio State, Travion Henderson.
Ooh, that he was one of my highlights on my board. I actually liked him better than his Ohio State teammate Quinshon Judkins.
Yes, believe it or not, he finished on the top 5 in career running backs for rushing yards at Ohio State,
That's
which
crazy.
is very huge considering you got J.K. Dobbins coming out of that school, and then you had Ezekiel Elliott come out of Ohio State. I mean, those are 2 tough NFL running backs. And not to also mention, he had 48 touchdowns his career, 42 rushing, 6 receiving, which also was 3rd for Ohio State.
I think he's going to make a bigger impact in the receiving game than those 6 touchdowns show.
Yeah. And then they drafted Kyle Williams in the 3rd round.
Okay.
The dude from Washington State, he was had 14 touchdowns last year. He finished 2nd, right behind trying to get the career single season touchdown record there. The team's great, and like you said, they picked up Milton Williams, who I just knew the Panthers were getting.
Sold.
It broke. We were getting him, and unfortunately, we didn't. And again, I'm not saying that the Patriots are going to make a deep run. I'm definitely not saying that, but I could see them squeaking in as a wild card. The division they're in, the only tough team, in my opinion, is the Bills and Josh Allen.
Absolutely.
The Jets are atrocious. Dolphins, they've got some problems.
This is a prove-it year for Mike McDaniel.
Yes, I do believe if Mike McDaniels, they do not make the playoffs and get 1 playoff win, I do believe Mike McDaniels is out in Miami. I think he's gone.
Because I like Mike.
Oh, and I love Mike McDaniels. Dude, great coach. I love his personality. I would hate to see him leave. I'm not a Dolphins fan, but I do like him a lot.
He's got a good personality.
Yes.
What's your sleeper?
My sleeper would have to be the Raiders. The Raiders came off
That's a
horrible
sleeper.
Yes,
season
big
last
sleeper.
Year.
Big
4-13. I mean, they definitely picked up some offensive weapons.
Yes.
You got Geno Smith, and they drafted Ashton Jeanty in the draft. So
Game change. That's franchise changing.
Dude is a dog. Let me tell you
Yes.
that he is very
And
good.
I love the addition of Pete Carroll, one of my favorite coaches in the NFL.
Yep.
One of my
Yes.
favorite coaches from my childhood. Those Russell Wilson, LOB, Marshawn Lynch teams
Yep.
are some of my favorites. I hope
Yep.
that Pete Carroll has enough in the tank. It'll be interesting to see what Geno Smith does. We were actually just talking about Geno Smith, how he had such a good time with DK Metcalf, and that DK Metcalf got the good years of Geno Smith. It'll be interesting to see what he has coming up in 2025. I don't hate that pick, but it is a real sleeper.
Yeah.
My sleeper is the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, they did make the playoffs in 2024. They were 11-6, an improvement from 5-12 in 2023. Jim Harbaugh was an A++ hire, the best hire of the 2024 coaching carousel cycle, whatever you want to call it. Jim Harbaugh is going to be up there for Coach of the Year this year. The only concern for me is what Justin Herbert does. He had a good regular season, 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 picks last season. But then in the playoffs, he left kind of a sour taste in Charger fans and really the league's mouth because of what he did. 4 interceptions to just 1 touchdown versus the Texans.
It was bad.
It was ugly. And you had people even questioning, is Justin Herbert really the guy?
Yeah.
I think he can be. Yeah. And the good thing that is helping him out is that Jim Harbaugh's offense is a run-based system.
Yep.
And they just so happen to have my favorite running back in the 2025 draft class. I'm extremely biased. My guy from North Carolina, Omarion Hampton. He's a dog. And I would make the argument, I don't think he's a better player than Ashton Jeanty, but I would make the argument that as far as value, you get Hampton late first round or you go high on Jeanty. I don't think the Raiders went too high, but for where the Chargers were, I think Hampton was a great pick. I would give that an A-, and I think that is going to work really, really well in 2025.
Yeah.
I also worry about the receiving core a little bit.
Yeah.
Vlad McConkey is really the only guy in that receiving core. Everybody else is kind of unproven. They have a rookie, and then they have Quentin Johnson, who has butter hands. I mean, he's not good, but somehow he went off against the terrible Panthers defense. I think the Chargers have potential to hear me out, compete with the Chiefs in 2025 for the division.
Well, I do think so. And ironically, y'all both picked a team in the same division.
We did.
Yes.
We did. We didn't know that beforehand.
Yeah. And I will say, not to skip the Chargers again, but to go back to the Raiders, you also got Brock Bowers in tight end, who arguably had the best rookie tight end season ever.
He had a great year.
And matched that with Geno probably having a career year last year. I think the Raiders were a very good pick. I also think the Chargers were a great pick. I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I do think they could compete, but you also have a young gun in Denver.
Yeah.
You got Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
The dude played. I think him and Drake May were, obviously Bo Nix had a better year because they made the playoffs. But
and they were both behind Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, they're both behind Jaden Daniels. That quarterback class last year was
crazy.
Also,
when you've got the first pick in argument for one of the not as great picks, it'll be interesting to see what Caleb Williams does with Ben Johnson.
Yes.
I'm a big Ben Johnson fan. Not so much a Caleb Williams fan.
Yeah,
Plus,
neither.
I can't really like the Bears as a Panthers fan. But they do have my guy, DJ Moore.
Yep.
But so it'll be interesting to see what this quarterback class does. I like our picks a lot. Moving to the NBA. We're in the middle of the NBA Finals.
Yep.
I've got a question for y'all. If the Thunder win the championship, they're in the middle of it right now, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the greatest Thunder player in history over guys like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook?
I think coming off of an MVP season, I'd have to say yes.
Okay.
I'm an old head. I'm gonna be honest. I would put him in the top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah.
Behind
Durant and Westbrook. Don't get me wrong. Yes, they didn't win a championship against the Miami Heat. I think it was 2011. 2012, somewhere around there.
2012, yeah.
I don't. Unfortunately, they didn't. I wish they would have because I love Kevin Durant. I mean, the dude's very good. But I can't put him ahead of them yet. Even though Kevin Durant did leave and
He
go
did.
join Golden
In
State.
Not great fashion.
Yeah, not great fashion. Went and joined a super team and won 2 championships. But I do think that he's definitely top 3.
You can make the argument, though, that he's top 3 right now,
Yes.
as it sits just with the MVP, because they haven't had another MVP except Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
Durant in 14, Westbrook in 17.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Hunter, and I love Kevin Durant as much as the next man.
Yeah.
He is my favorite player in the current NBA right now.
Yeah.
But to me, to have a championship and an MVP, that already puts him ahead of Westbrook and Durant, who just have MVPs, and they were together. You can make the argument that these teams that Durant and Westbrook played on were much more talented than the one this year. I think this one has potential to be one of the best ever if they can pay everybody and keep everybody's egos in check, but I think they're going to do just that.
Yeah.
I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be the greatest Thunder player of all time if they finish the job against the Indiana Pacers, but I love Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Durant. I think Russell Westbrook might be the most impactful player in Thunder history, but as far as greatest in achievements, even though he's played less seasons, I give it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I could see the argument. The thing for me, and I'm not a LeBron lover. I'm not. But you have to look at the competition that the Thunder are playing now. They're playing the Pacers. It's nothing against the Pacers. The team is very good. But
Rick Carlisle, great coach.
Yeah, when you look at who Durant and Westbrook and Serge Ibaka had to play, they had to play LeBron, Chris Bosh, and D Wade.
Serge Ibaka, that's a good pull. I love Serge
AKA
Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka.
Oh, good pull.
But I think the teams that the Thunder teams are played against are 2 totally different teams. LeBron, as much as I dislike him back then, was still very much in his prime. And I think that's where I will put him in my top 3. Now, you let him win another one or make another NBA Finals run. They might not win, but they make it back. I will bump him up.
Yeah.
But as of right now, he sits number 3 behind Westbrook and Durant.
So you have Durant at 1.
I have Durant at 1, Westbrook at 2, and it's nothing against either one. It's nothing against Westbrook at all. I mean, I might even put 1A, 1B, and then 2 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That may be what I do.
So at this point, without the ring, for me, I have Russell Westbrook because he stayed loyal.
He did.
Kevin Durant at 2 and Shai at 3 right now.
Yeah.
But if he wins the finals, I've got Shai, Westbrook, Kevin Durant. So my list would be flipped.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's going to have a long career at Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He's still very young.
Sure.
He's ahead of schedule. This team as a whole is ahead of schedule. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Shai, you remember who drafted him?
The Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Yep. So we're cursed. We still have the Kobe Bryant curse in Charlotte from when we had him, when we were the original Hornets back in the day, and then we traded him away to LA.
It's terrible.
We
have
still
terrible
cursed.
luck.
Yes, we do.
Stupid Boston fan over here.
Yeah. I mean,
He has never experienced the pain
No.
of being a Hornets fan.
No.
He should. He should have to. Maybe the Panthers.
The Panthers have given me enough trauma as it is that I don't need 2 teams.
And hopefully this year we don't have any trauma.
Yes,
We're not. We're going to the playoffs.
Well,
things are on the up and up for us.
Have you seen the I guess you would say plot that they have for the Panthers? The last 2 times we went to the Super Bowl, Ohio State won the national championship in college, and we played Jacksonville first game of the year. What happened this year? Ohio State won the national championship, and we played the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1.
Panthers to the Super Bowl
Yep.
2026. Book it right here.
Yep. All right, guys, and to wrap us up for this week's episode, we're going to finish off a little bit of college baseball. It's coming up this weekend. Friday, you've got Game 1. Coastal and Arizona are playing each other. Then you've got Oregon State and Louisville playing Game 2 at 6. And then your Day 2 games are UCLA, Murray State, Arkansas, and LSU. All these teams played great super regionals. Out of my pick out of these, I think Arizona had a wild super regional beating Carolina.
That was terrible.
Did not see that coming at all. And then Murray State beating Duke. That was very, very good.
It was awesome for Murray State.
Yes.
I love their story. I actually just got told in the phone call today, did you know that Murray State's head coach makes $68,000 a year?
Wow.
He cuts the grass at Murray State himself. Their stadium is the smallest of anybody in the College World Series field. it's kind of hard not to root for a guy like
Yep.
that because they beat Mississippi State,
Yeah.
whose coach makes over $1.6 million a year. It's safe to say the coach at Murray State will not be there very long. He will get an upgraded job.
He'll
But
get
what
a
a
big
story for
Yeah.
Murray State.
I think he needs to sign an NIL deal. I mean,
He
we're
does.
passing him out. He might as well
He
go ahead and get
does.
one.
He
Go ahead and
does.
sign him up for an NIL deal.
My man needs cash.
I will say, as far as we go for picking a team for this, I think, unfortunately, I hate to say it, I think LSU is going to win it all. I would love to see Arkansas upset them. For a couple of my friends back in Arkansas that I know personally, are huge Hogs fans, I would love to see them win.
We're big.
But I'm going to go ahead and say my pick to represent our area, southeastern North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina. I'm going to pick Coastal Carolina.
Great pick.
They had a great run. They hosted a regional, went into Auburn, who beat NC State in their regional.
That was great.
And not at all. And then absolutely beat Auburn. That was fantastic. I'd love to see them carry it on. Have you seen the story about Coastal and their coach?
What about it?
So last time Coastal went to the College World Series,
2016.
they actually beat NC State in the Super Regional.
Did they?
They did. NC State hosted. And super depressing, but their son had a stroke, and he was not allowed to travel with the team, unfortunately. And when this postseason run started, the one big thing they were wanting to do is take their son to the College World Series because he missed out last year.
Yeah.
And as a father and a heartwarming story, that is like huge to me. And I'm going to go ahead and say Coastal Carolina all the way. They're going to win the World Series, and I'm going to be one happy person.
I think that Coastal is actually a better pick than so many people are saying. So many people are picking Coastal as their sleeper pick.
Yeah.
I don't find Coastal as a sleeper
No.
at all. They're here for a reason. Like you said, they hosted a regional. They absolutely tore up their regional. They beat ECU. They beat other guys in there. They're riding a 23-game winning streak.
Yeah.
23 games. That's
They're hot.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
They are one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in America.
Yeah.
I don't find that a sleeper pick at all. I
No.
find that is very good common sense.
Yeah.
They are who I want to win the College World Series,
Yeah.
but I'm going with Arkansas. I think Arkansas has had so many chances to win year after year after year. I mean, in 2021, they were the best team in college baseball. They lost out pretty early. They've had opportunities.
Yeah.
I think this is as good of a year with Vanderbilt and Texas, the 1-2 out.
Yeah.
This puts Arkansas up. They've got to beat LSU, and I hate the pull that they got LSU so early on in the College World Series in Omaha, but I think this is Arkansas's year. They're so I'm a big balance guy.
Yeah.
We just talked about with Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
I'm a balance guy. Arkansas is very balanced. They beat Tennessee. They murdered
They
Tennessee.
belt to butt Tennessee.
And they did. And I think there's a possibility they do that to LSU.
Yeah.
They've seen LSU.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good game because they've seen each other. They know what to do. These are SEC schools.
Yeah.
It's very different than last year's field because of the diversity. I mean, only one ACC school in Louisville. I'm not big on Louisville.
No.
I just not that impressed. I'm not impressed with Arizona. I got Coastal beating Arizona right now as this podcast is going out. They're playing right this minute.
They are.
So I like Coastal's chances. Hopefully next week we don't have to look at it and say, man, we made a bad pick. Arizona came out and beat Coastal 15-2.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be a case. I think
Yeah.
Coastal's going to have a really good run.
What do you think, Hunter?
Personally, I think Arkansas has very good odds of taking it all the way. My big thing about LSU is, we talked about this the other night, they're hot at home. They're not so much on the road, and that's going to be a big factor here. And me personally, I just think Arkansas is going to stay consistent with it.
Yeah.
I did not think about how much better LSU is at
Oh,
home.
they are.
But that's
great.
true. They are way better.
Yeah.
That's a really good take.
Yes.
That is a really, really good take.
Yeah.
This should be a
This
fun
this is gonna be. I think it starts Friday and ends middle of the week, I believe. Let me make sure.
It runs all the way to June the 23rd.
So
championship
Monday the
game
23rd.
three,
Yeah.
if necessary.
If necessary. I would love to see 3 games. I don't want to see like a 2-game blowout and like it's it. I'd love to see some competitive baseball. But I do believe that Coastal will win it. I think they're going to have a good time. I'm excited. I love baseball, and overall, I just think we're in for a show.
I think we're in for an absolute clinic,
Yeah.
movie, cinema, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks
Yep.
for baseball. And I don't love baseball. I'm not a big baseball fan. I was a terrible baseball player in middle school. I sat the bench, played right field, did all the things. But golf was much more my thing. But this is like the one time of the year where I just love baseball. I'm locked in. I love college baseball. I've been to a few college baseball games. They are so much fun.
Yes.
So I agree with you. It is going to be, maybe I can get into the MLB this year.
And one good thing is you're going to see some talent in these College World Series that you will see at the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about LSU and Paul Skeens and what he's doing for Pittsburgh right now is
Unbelievable. He's
is
having
great.
a
Pittsburgh
great year.
should be ashamed of themselves for not getting him any help.
Yeah.
But we can talk MLB a different episode. But I think you're going to see some of these kids you see this year, you'll see in a couple years. But like, man, I remember watching that kid in the World Series.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I like about it. Huge on baseball. My Braves suck this year.
I feel right at home with the Braves.
Yeah, we're having a rough year. I think there's going to be some changes in the offseason, but I do believe that this World Series is going to be good. I think, like I said, you're going to see some future MLB talent. I think it's going to be a great time, and I just cannot wait to watch it this weekend. And on that note, guys, this is the end of our episode 2. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We'll catch y'all next week. See ya.